The beauty of train fruit is that you can grow them in a very limited space, and a small garden can have some homegrown, delicious fruit. Mind you, a small garden can hold an awful lot of flowers. We found when we went to St Albans, the visitor garden with an amazing array of flowers of every kind.
In this garden, every plant has to earn its space, and because it's a small garden, you know, they get two chances. They either do well or they're gone. My name's Frances Mason. This garden means everything to me. It's where I spend most of my time. Well, when I walk out here in the morning, it's like walking into a valley. It's almost as if the garden is welcoming me, and I suppose it grounds me and makes me feel happy. Well, I've got mostly cottage garden plants, but I do love to grow tropical plants as well, and I like the difference between the large leaf varieties and the colours, and then the smaller, more dainty flowers and leaves, and they all make a collage almost. The idea was to get layers so that at the front of the garden you could see the smaller plants and far more detail, and as we went back towards the fence, the height went higher and higher. So the whole place is enveloped in plants. This one's called Melianthus major. It doesn't need to be taken inside in the winter, so that's fine. I think this is a nice structural plant for the garden, and the new foliage is beautiful too. And the backs of the leaves are lovely, lovely pale green. It is just a very nice plant, and it's a good foil for other plants. Here I grow it with just a basket of begonias coming over. What I like about this area is the fact that we have Nicotiana, which is this beautiful deep purple, and it goes with the canna, which is lovely, and then the fuchsia has these most beautiful lilac petals. I just love this colour grouping together. Very pleasing, that one. I like that. This is the canna, which I got this year. It's a new one. Beautiful variegated foliage, which I love. And it picks up the variegations from the nasturtiums down here. So I just like these colours. I don't know what colour this is going to be when it flowers. It may be orange, which would be just perfect for this section. You know, people say we shouldn't put orange and red together. Any colours you like go together, in my book anyway. Across here, I've gone for a more muted cottage garden look. All of these delphiniums have grown from seed this year, and they've all come up nicely, but in order to get this tiered effect, I will throw in sort of a dark red dahlia here, just to draw the eye. And then at the back we've got hanging baskets, which slope up towards the fence. I don't really want to see anything outside the garden. I want a complete cabin. These are tree lilies. The first year they came to about here and they flowered in about 3 months. And this year, well, you can see the height of them this year. They're much taller than I am. And I've got a little trick to deter the lily beetle. I pick curry plant leaves and make a concoction, make a tea, which can be diluted into a spray with water. So this is the one I made yesterday. So now I'm going to spray the lily plants. This should really be sprayed on the plants twice a week while they're in the fast growing stage. Well, there don't seem to be any lily beetles here, so maybe it's working. These little fellows live in tropical climates, and they're an epiphyte. Air plants, Tillandsia they're called. So here I have them glued into shells. This is a special air plant glue, and it just takes a little tiny dot. And then eventually they will hold on their own. They do have roots, but you can see they flower, and this one is about to flower. They need very little care. In the summer they can go outside. The rain will look after them. And I love the idea of using the fishing line, because you can't see it. It looks as if they're floating in the air. I like to take cuttings because people who know me know that I do very well with cuttings. I take cuttings of almost everything. I'll have a go at anything. Brugmansia are one of my favourite plants. I think it's probably because they're quite like people that you can meet, quite blousy people. If you take a cutting from up here, where the growth has branched, then above that the growth is much quicker and it produces flowers. So I'm going to take a cutting from here, like that. These plants are toxic. If you wear gloves and you wash your hands when you finish dealing with them, everything's fine. Prepare the cutting by taking off unnecessary leaves. So there, that one, and the large leaves, instead of taking them off completely, cut them in half. That gives the plant a little bit of leaf, but not so much that it dies trying to support a big leaf. So there's the cutting, and I will do a clean cut underneath the node. That's a leaf node, and if I take the cutting under there, it will take much better. So I'll be putting some drainage in, because these plants need a lot of drainage. So the soil goes in, make it nice and comfortable in the pot, there we go, and that's just left alone, watered and put in a shady warm spot, and that way it will root very quickly. I feel that I'm part of this garden, and somehow it just allows me to be here. I suppose every garden runs out of space at some stage, but I never really wanted to leave that. But I suppose we could start to build upwards now, but who knows?